Easier, Happier Parenting by Noël, Janis, Norton Part 1. The book in 3 sentences. When we continue to do things for our children that they could do for themselves, we rob them of opportunities to become self-reliant and confident. Our main job as parents is to transfer the values, skills, and habits that are important. The more we try to make children do things our way, the more we annoy our children and cause them to resent us and resist us. The 5 big ideas. Notice and describe what your child does that pleases you using descriptive praise. Help your child remember and follow rules and routines using think-throughs. Helps your child move through their uncomfortable feelings using reflective listening. Invite your children to cooperate 90% of the time. The first time you give an instruction using the never ask twice method. Have a child replay a scenario without misbehaving using action replays. Easier, Happier Parenting Key Concepts. Teaching results in a child knowing how to do something. Training gets a child into the habit of doing something without you needing to remind them. Self-reliance is the stepping stone to confidence. Superlative praise is vague, exaggerated, and ineffective. Descriptive praise is specific, true, and motivating. More, it improves behavior and is easy to grasp. Notice a little thing that your child is doing that is right, or even the smallest step in the right direction. Then tell your child exactly what you noticed and describe the behavior in detail. When you descriptively praise the absence of an annoying behavior, you'll soon see less of that behavior. Adding qualities to your praise helps your child absorb your values. Focus on planning so that things go right, rather than reacting after things go wrong. Ask, don't tell. When your children tell you what they need to do, they are much more likely to remember to do it. But when you tell them, often they're barely listening. Special time. One parent with one child doing something you both enjoy that doesn't cost money. That's not in front of a screen. Predictable daily, if possible, for at least 10 minutes. Special time reduces attention seeking. Reflective listening helps diffuse your child's upsets. Squabbling and telling tales soon lose their appeal when we don't get involved. Show you care by imagining how they are feeling, and don't try to solve the problem. The more we are willing to repeat ourselves, the more times we'll have to repeat ourselves. Start behavior. Your child is not misbehaving but needs to transition to the next activity. Stop behavior. Your child is doing something wrong or something annoying, and you want her to stop. Waiting is powerful. It shows intentionality, that you mean what you say. If consequences on their own were effective, our prisons would be empty. When you follow through, your children will take what you say more seriously. You can do action replays for any type of misbehavior, major or minor. Action replays end all discipline on a positive note. Taking away a privilege for misbehavior seems unfair to children and generates resentment. Allowing your child to earn a privilege through good behavior is positive and motivating. You'll see behavior improve sooner than you can imagine. It's never too late to guide our children into better mealtime habits. Easier, Happier Parenting Summary. The basic premise of Easier, Happier Parenting is that our main job as parents is to transfer the values, skills, and habits that are important. Over the years, Noël has asked parents from around the globe what values, skills, and habits they want their children to develop, regardless of geographical location, culture, religion, or socioeconomic differences. These same 5 qualities are always mentioned. Cooperation, doing what we tell them to do, the first time we tell them, and without a fuss. Confidence, knowing and appreciating, and using their talents, abilities, and strengths, knowing and accepting and being willing to improve on their weaknesses. Motivation, the willingness to start and to keep on doing all the steps needed to reach a goal, even though they may not enjoy all those steps. Self-reliance, doing for themselves everything that they are capable of doing for themselves, rather than expecting or demanding or waiting for someone else to do it for them. Consideration, caring about other people's feelings and understanding how their own actions affect others. The first of these 5 foundation habits, cooperation, is the gateway into the other 4 habits. Until children are cooperating, they won't be willing to do things for themselves or to be polite most of the time, or to try new things or to stick at a task even when it's difficult. It's our job to teach our children how to do many things, and then, over time and with enough practice, the skills became habits. The more we try to make children do things our way, the more we annoy our children and cause them to resent us and resist us. Descriptive praise. In all her years of working with families, Noel has found descriptive praise to be the single most powerful strategy for motivating children to want to cooperate and do their best. Descriptive praise means noticing and then specifically describing what your child has done that pleases you. What is effective for increasing motivation and the willingness to take on challenges is focusing praise on the child's effort, on what the child has done, not on an ability he can't control or on the final result. Descriptive praise is about noticing and commenting on exactly what your child has done that is right or just okay, or even what he hasn't done wrong. Examples of descriptive praise for small steps in the right direction. You've already got your underwear and one sock on. You're almost halfway dressed. I told you it was time to clean your teeth, and you took a step towards the sink. You put one of your sweet wrappers in the recycling bin. Start noticing whenever your child is not doing the annoying habit, and descriptively praise the absence of that negative behavior. A useful strategy when your child does something annoying is to wait a few seconds. As soon as your child stops or even pauses for breath, jump in with descriptive praise. For total positive effect, turn your descriptive praise sentences into paragraphs. Descriptive praise becomes even more powerful when you can summarize what you have noticed by mentioning a quality. A useful way to start a descriptive praise sentence is with the words, I notice. Children perk their ears up when they hear us saying I notice, because that's not the language we generally use when we are correcting or reprimanding. So when we say I notice, they soon expect to hear something nice about themselves, and it motivates them to listen. Focus most of your descriptive praise on the habits your children haven't mastered yet. How to motivate your child so that you see more of the behavior you want and less of the annoying behavior. Choose 2 annoying behaviors you'd like your child to improve and write them down. For each behavior, notice and descriptively praise every time your child does it right or just okay or even just a bit better than before. Notice and mention when your child isn't doing the annoying behavior. Avoid superlatives. Make a goal of descriptively praising some aspect of the improved behavior at least 10 times a day. Be sure to address your child's whingy, impatient or disrespectful tone of voice, even if the words he is saying are reasonable. Preparing for success. A think-through is a powerful technique for helping our children remember and follow our rules and routines. It maximizes the likelihood of your child cooperating by fixing the expectation or rule in his long-term memory. A think-through is different from a reminder in 2 important ways. A think-through happens before the misbehavior occurs. In a think-through, your child is the one doing the talking, not you. Here are the basic think-through steps for helping your child remember and take seriously an existing rule or routine. Instead of waiting until your child breaks or ignores the rule, we need to be proactive and address the issue with a think-through earlier in the day. Choose a neutral time to do the think-through. Ask, don't tell. Your child answers in detail, telling you what he should do. Tips for effective think-throughs. Spend no more than a minute on each think-through. Do think-throughs with each child separately, even if you want to reinforce the same rule for more than one child. Remember to descriptively praise as your child answers the think-through questions. An ongoing problem needs an ongoing solution, so be willing to do several think-throughs a day for a week or so, especially if you have a child who is often uncooperative or who has a more inflexible temperament. Examples of think-through questions. When we get home from football practice, what's the first thing you need to do? Where should you put your equipment bag? What should you do with your clean clothes? What do you need to do as soon as you climb into the car? Who buckles your car seat? Where should your arms be so daddy and I can buckle you in? When can you get out of your car seat? To prevent problems, do think-throughs about the right way to behave. Do the think-throughs at neutral times, long before anything has had a chance to go wrong. Having clear rules and expectations is another key aspect of preparing for success. Before you can make a new rule to address a family problem, the first step is to get clear within ourselves exactly what we want the new rule to be. If you have a partner, you need to become a united front. You both need to agree about what the rules will be, and we call this becoming a united front. You can change rules anytime you need to, using think-throughs to establish a new rule. Choose a neutral time and sit down with your child for 1 minute, just as you would when doing a think-through to revive an existing rule. Start the think-through by saying, the new rule is, or words to that effect. Once you or your partner have stated the new rule, stop talking. Instead of explaining the reasons for the new rule, respond with, that's a good question. Why do you think we're making this new rule? If your child repeats that he doesn't know the reason for the new rule, ask him to take a guess. One important way we can prepare for success is to put some time, thought, and action into preparing our children's environment. Having a list or chart that you can point to is an effective way of preparing the environment to help children remember the rules and routines. Visual reminders can keep you from falling into the trap of repeating yourself. In her seminars, Noël tells parents that there are 4 things she wants them to never again say to their children. Those 4 things are, come on, hurry up, let's go, we'll be late. Special time is most effective when it is frequent and predictable, and labeled as that so that your child can expect it. One-on-one special time helps your child want to cooperate. It also awakens in your child the desire to imitate the positive habits and qualities and values of that parent. No matter how busy or stressed you are, you need to set aside even 10 minutes a day for special time with your child. The most basic aspect of a united front is not arguing in front of the children. Whenever there is a new routine or habit you would like your child to develop, there are many crucial questions to ask yourself about the preparing for success techniques. Each question refers to a separate technique. United front. Do my partner and I agree about what the rule or expectation is? Clear rules and expectations. Have I told my child what the rule is? Are we doing some think-throughs about this every day? Asking several W questions about this rule and having the child answer in her own words. Preparing the environment. How can I make it easier for my child to follow the rule? Visual reminders. How can I avoid repeating myself day after day? Plan realistically. Am I leaving enough time in the bedtime routine for laying out clothes? Special time. Are we spending frequent, predictable one-on-one time with each child? Descriptive praise. Am I noticing and mentioning every time my child remembers the rule or takes even a small step in the right direction?